How's it going, gang? In my hands, I'm holding the NRC fender eliminator for the 2023 BMW S1000RR. This is my wife's bike, and we're going to be doing a little bit of fine-tuning today by replacing the stock fender eliminator. The exhaust we're going to be doing next, which is our acro exhaust that's waiting for the motorcycle. Unfortunately, we only have 100 miles on it right now, so I got to put on a few more miles today and get a little bit closer to that 500-600 mile range. After that, we're going to be throwing the exhaust on, which is going to be exciting. We're going to unlock the ECU and then do the brand tune on this motorcycle. So looking forward to doing all that, but for today's session, we're going to be putting this little bracket on and getting the license plate on it. All right, guys, so the NRC fender eliminator comes with these two parts. One is the license plate bracket itself, and the second part is this LED brake light. Very streamlined design, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. And the awesome part about this kit is that the electrical connectors are already set up for this motorcycle, which is, if you've ever done a fender eliminator on any other motorcycle, you have to do quite a bit of soldering. So I'm happy that I don't have to do that in this motorcycle. All right, let's go ahead and pop out the stock cover. Line up, there she goes. All right, our access to the stock fender eliminator is down below. It's these two hex bolts. So we'll be removing these guys. Looks like the size is 20 T20. So let's go ahead and remove those, and that should release the bracket. Then we'll disconnect the electrical and drop it. So let's go ahead and loosen this up. As you can see, the bracket is beginning to calm down. Let's get the other one too. And they came out extremely easy. There goes the bolt. Okay, very good. So it is now loose. It's just holding on by the electrical connectors. So now we can trace them. Looks like there's one to the left side of the bike and then one to the right. So it is this one here and that one there. Let's go ahead and get those disconnected and move on. And looks like there's going to be the third one. Looks like that's for these are the turn signals, I would assume. This one is our brake light. So let's get those disconnected and start looking at plugging everything back in. As you can see, in my previous job, the tips got broken off. So I'm gonna look like Dr. Giggles over here trying to cut these zip ties that these electrical connectors are held by. So yeah. All right, that is not gonna work. Let's go get a nice blade that we have in our tool bucket. There we go. We'll just cut it off. Again, I don't want to. Okay, that's done. Let's go ahead and get the zip ties out. Cool, that's all set. And this should be fairly easy to do by lifting up on this little plastic notch. I'll need more hands. There we go. Or we can make it work. Okay, we're good there. We'll need to cut this zip tie as well. This side is pretty clear, so we should be okay. This one also, again, a little flap that we need to bring up and then pull on it. There we go. Same thing on this one. There we go, done. All right, that is done. So we can now get the fender eliminator, or the stock fender out. Bloop, super easy. Again, this thing is not that bad, to be honest with you. It is not that bad at all. Pretty streamlined. Even the turn signals are kind of neat compared to what you normally see. All right, so now all we gotta do is install the new stuff, okay? And it's gonna be facing this way with electrical components going up into the bike. Looking good there. And then this bracket will mount directly to this piece here. And that should be it. And then we'll plug everything up and start her up and see what it looks like. All right, we got the electrical components threaded through. And we also got the brake light in. This was kind of a quirky part. You got to get them through these openings. So it's a little bit of wiggling you got to do. You got to align it just right for it to pop in. Once it's in, it's not going to go anywhere. We can go ahead and now mount or bolt in the brake light to the stock nuts using the provided hardware, which are these Allen bolts, which is blasphemy for BMW, right? Because everything on this motorcycle is hex. It's Torx, bits, everything. So it's kind of funny that they provided Allen screws. So we will be bolting that up, connecting the electrical plugs in, and finishing it all up. Another thing that you may want to do before tightening everything up is routing your electrical wire for the license plate light from the bracket. Route it through so you're not having a pain in the butt later trying to get it in there. So we routed it in, so that's in there. Now we're going to tighten up these Allen bolts and tighten it up. And then after that, these two holes are going to be utilized to mount this to the LED light. Let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, I guess the only thing that I would really wish about this kit is that when you do mount these bolts, that wire would be pointing backwards. You can technically mount it like this, right, to where the hole is still accessible, but I want it to be mounted this way. Okay, so it's fully tucked in and not set up like that. So it looks like there is no way to mount it this way without impacting the way that the wires are. All right, so this is how we're gonna route this electrical wire. So it's gonna go through the side here and into the hole underneath this bracket. So it's gonna press that wire down. It's gonna be fed in, and then we're gonna tighten everything up and call it good. Also, I should note that these bottom bolts are extremely loose in terms of tolerances. So they're a little floppy. So even if you tighten it, I'm afraid that after riding a while, they'll probably loosen up and fall out. So we're gonna go ahead and put some thread locker on these guys just to make sure that they don't pop out at any point. All right, now that we got everything bolted down correctly at the bottom and we have the electrical components plugged in, let's validate that we got the order right, just to make sure that when we turn our left turning signal on, it flicks on the right turn signal in the rear. Let's go ahead and turn her on. Cool, let's do hazards first. Double check, our fronts are not flashing fast, looking good there. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, looking good. Let's cancel that out. Do the left turn signal. Double check. Left. Left, looks good. Let's validate. The right looks good. It's our right. And our right. The only other thing is we need to check the brake. Let's cancel that out. And I'll just tap on the rear brake from this side. We look good. All right, let's button it up now. Put these electrical components back where they should be, zip tie them down, and close the tail up. We'll take it for a spin. Let's rock. One little detail is that I don't think we'll be able to put these back into their original spot, which is on the sides here. simply because the new electrical connectors are a little too thick, so they cannot be rerouted back into these little slots. So, which is kind of fortunate. I would prefer to keep them back in its original routing and their original spots, but we're going to zip tie them all back together and tuck them into the tail here, make it nice and neat, and we'll call it good. All right, that's not too bad. Looks fairly clean. It's tucked away, it's not impacting anything, so I think we're pretty much good to go. Let's go ahead and put the cap on, close this thing up. All right, guys, the only thing that I needed to take things back apart and adjust is because of this. If I completely center the license plate, I run into that. And I'm not sure if this is just in Michigan or what, but the spacing is not in alignment with how the plate bracket is set up. So the bottom is perfectly centered. It looks good. As you can see, the top is not. So that's something that I'm gonna go ahead and drill through. Pretty much I'm going to Dremel out these corners, and that should do it. So I'll get working on that and provide an update here in just a second. Right, license plate bracket is on. So the moral of the story is awesome kit, fairly easy to install, primarily because of the wiring. That's pre-done with the stock plugs. But the only things you gotta look out for is that the wires will not go into their original spot. And for the license plate bracket, you may need to drill some additional holes in your license plate. All right, we put on 45 miles. Bike is riding great. License plate bracket is holding on for its dear life. But unfortunately, we're in a break-in period, so we can only go up to 123 miles. That's the cutoff. As the rev limiter kicks in 6th gear, and that's as far as you can go. So there's that. Another thing is we'll need to adjust this lever, because it is way too far out. It needs to be brought in by approximately an inch. Outside of that, bike is riding great. And later tonight, we're going to be taking the Hayabusa out for a little spin. Looking forward to doing that. So now we're off to get some sushi. Join us. All right, we're at our favorite sushi restaurant, Mikado Sushi. This place is awesome. Huge menu, and the food is the best. All right, let the party get started. We're starting out with miso soup and some of these hand rolls, avocado hand rolls.
Why are you making videos? Dad!
This is my sidekick.
Dad!
We got ourselves a shrimp shumai. We got our pink monster roll and firecracker roll. That's right. Sidekick, any words of wisdom? Share some interesting things for us.
Mrs. Surprise and Sprite.
Oh, wow, okay, thank you. Okay, I don't know what this just came back. I swear the guy said, I have the tiger. Is that what he said?
I don't know. I think I ordered a tiger roll.
All right, so this is the tiger roll. What does the tiger sound like? Gulp, 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 gulp.
No, that's a sounds like.
No?
What's a tiger sound like?
You say it. You do it.
Our tiger is a mime. All right, ready, Katie? Come on. It's squid.